Hello, everybody. It is Dr. Debbie with Evolve Global 22. It's Healing Light Studio. This is our Healing Circle, Feel Better Daily. Welcome, everybody. If you are just finding this series for the first time, go back to watch episode 1. It sets the foundation for everything we are covering today. And trust me, you're going to want that context. But if you are back for episode 2, I'm so glad that you are here, because today we are going somewhere that I think is going to genuinely change how you understand your body. We're talking about hormones, gut health, and inflammation, the silent shifts starting in your 20s that nobody warned us about. So let's talk. Let me ask you something. Have you ever felt like your body just stopped cooperating with you? Like you are doing everything you're supposed to do, and yet you are still bloated, still exhausted, still moody, still gaining weight around your middle, still waking up at 3 a.m. for no reason, still feeling like a stranger in your own skin, and nobody can really explain it to you in a way that makes sense. Here is what I want you to know today. There is an explanation, and it starts way earlier than you think. What you are feeling right now in your 40s, the hormonal chaos, the gut issues, the inflammation, the fatigue, that did not start at 40. It started in your 20s. And this is why this episode or this series is so important, even for whether you're 20, 30, or 40. Quietly, things started without any symptoms, without anyone warning you. And today we are going to talk about all of it: hormones, gut health, inflammation, what is happening now, why it started then, and what every woman in her 20s absolutely needs to know before she gets here. This is episode 2 again of Wellness After 40, what your 20s self needed to hear. So let's get into this. So let's start with hormones, because this is where I see the most confusion and the most frustration in women. Most of us were taught that hormones are a 40s problem, maybe a 50s problem, something that happens when menopause shows up and suddenly everything goes haywire. But that is not how it works. That is not how any of this works. Hormonal shifts begin in your late 20s. They accelerate through your 30s, and that by the time you hit 40, your body has already been in a slow hormonal transition for over a decade. Let me break down the key players. Estrogen. This is your master hormone. And what I want you to understand is how much little tired here. And I want you to understand how much it does when most women think estrogen is just about reproduction. It is not. Estrogen regulates your mood, your sleep, your skin, your bone density, your cardiovascular health, your memory, your libido, your ability to recover from stress. Excuse me. When estrogen starts to decline, even just a little, you feel it everywhere, not just in your cycle, everywhere. The next one is progesterone. This is your calming hormone. You feel good, sleep well, stay calm hormone. And here is something that surprises a lot of women. Progesterone often starts declining before estrogen does. So before you even notice estrogen changes, you may already be experiencing low progesterone symptoms: anxiety that seems to come out of nowhere, poor sleep, mood instability, heavier or more irregular periods. That wired but exhausted feeling that no amount of rest seems to fix. The next one is cortisol. Now, this is the one that does the most damage in your 20s and 30s without you even realizing it. Cortisol is your stress hormone. And every time you are chronically stressed, undersleeping, overexercised, undereating, running on adrenaline, people pleasing, overwhelmed, burned out, Cortisol floods the system. And here is the problem. Cortisol competes with other hormones. It literally steals the building blocks your body needs to make progesterone and estrogen. It disrupts your thyroid. It spikes your blood sugar. It promotes fat storage. And over years and years of chronic elevation, it creates a hormonal environment that feels completely out of control by the time you hit 40. The next one is insulin. This is the hormone that regulates your blood sugar. And when your diet in your 20s is full of ultra-processed foods, refined sugar, skipped meals, and irregular eating, your cells start to become resistant to insulin. Insulin resistance is one of the driving forces behind weight gain that won't budge energy crashes, hormonal imbalance, PCOS, and chronic inflammation. And it builds slowly over years before most women even know it is happening. Next is testosterone. Yes, we need to talk about this one too. Women need testosterone. It supports your energy, your confidence, your muscle mass, your libido, and your cognitive function. And it starts declining steadily after your mid-20s. So by 40, if nobody has ever checked your testosterone levels, and most doctors don't, you may have been running low for years without knowing it. So what does this all mean? It means that by 40, if none of this was being understood or managed, or even in your radar in your 20s, you arrive at midlife with a hormonal system that has been running on fumes for a very long time. And you wonder why you feel the way you feel. I want to ask you something, and I really want you to think about this. In your 20s, did you feel like you needed caffeine just to function? And if you're 20 right now, do you feel this way? Did you crash every afternoon? Did you get sick often? Did you have painful or irregular periods that your doctor just told you were normal? Did you feel anxious without a clear reason? Did you have skin breakouts that never fully went away? Did you feel exhausted even after a full night's sleep? Those were not just normal 20-something struggles. Those were signals. Early warning signs of hormonal imbalance, gut dysfunction, and inflammation that were already beginning to build beneath the surface. But we normalized all of it. We called it stress. We called it being young and busy. We called it just the way things are for women. We were not taught to listen to our bodies. We were taught to push through, to show up, to keep going no matter what. And our bodies kept sending the signals, and we kept ignoring them until 40, when the signals become impossible to ignore. Now let's talk about gut health, because this is where many women are completely blindsided. I know I was. And once you understand this, it is going to change how you think about almost every symptom you have ever experienced. Your gut is not just a digestive organ. Your gut is the foundation of almost everything happening in your body. Here are some facts that are going to blow your mind. Your gut produces approximately 90% of your serotonin, your feel-good neurotransmitter, that one that regulates your mood, your sleep, your appetite, and your sense of well-being. 90% of it comes from your gut, not your brain, your gut. Your gut houses approximately 70% of your immune system. So if you are getting sick often, if you have allergies, if you have autoimmune issues, your gut is deeply involved. Your gut communicates directly with your brain through what is called the gut-brain axis. It is a two-way superhighway of information, which is why when you are anxious, you feel it in your stomach. And why when your gut is inflamed, you feel it in your mood. And your gut plays a critical role in hormone metabolism. including how your body processes and eliminates excess estrogen. If your gut is not healthy, excess estrogen recirculates in the body instead of being eliminated. And estrogen dominance is behind so many of the symptoms women in their 40s struggle with: heavy periods, fibroids, mood swings, weight gain, breast tenderness, brain fog. So, what damages your gut in your 20s? A diet high in ultra processed foods and refined sugar, repeated courses of antibiotics without probiotic support to restore what was lost, chronic stress, which literally damages the lining of your gut, a condition called leaky gut or intestinal permeability, alcohol, which disrupts your microbiome diversity and inflames the gut's lining, hormonal birth control, which can significantly alter the balance of bacteria in your gut, and a low fiber diet, which starves the good bacteria your microbiome depends on to thrive. By the time many women are 40, they have a gut that has been under assault for 2 decades, and the symptoms they are living with, the bloating, the digestive issues, the food sensitivities, the fatigue, the mood instability, the skin problems, the immune dysfunction, are the direct result. This is not just about digestion. This is about everything, my friends. Now let's talk about inflammation, because I think the word gets thrown around a lot, but I want to make sure you truly understand what it is and why it matters so deeply for your long-term health. There are two kinds of inflammation. Acute inflammation is healthy. It is your body's natural response to injury or infection. You cut your finger, it swells, you get sick, you get a fever. This is your immune system doing exactly what it is supposed to do. Chronic inflammation, on the other hand, is completely different. Chronic inflammation is low grade, constant, silent. It runs in the background for years, sometimes decades, without obvious symptoms. You do not feel it the way you feel a fever. It is more like a slow fire burning beneath everything, slowly damaging tissue, slowly disrupting hormones, slowly aging your cells, slowly building toward a breaking point. And chronic inflammation is linked to heart disease, autoimmune conditions, type 2 diabetes, cancer, depression and anxiety, accelerated aging, hormonal disruption, cognitive decline, Alzheimer's disease. Almost every major chronic illness has chronic inflammation at its root, and it builds from the habits and environments of your 20s and 30s. Poor diet, chronic stress, poor sleep, environmental toxins in your food, your water, your personal care products, your home, a sedentary lifestyle, unresolved emotional trauma, gut dysfunction, smoking, excess alcohol, all of it feeds the fire. And by 40, my friends, if that fire has been burning for 15 or 20 years, it shows up as joint pain that seems to come from nowhere, brain fog that makes you feel like you're losing your mind, stubborn weight that does not respond to anything you try, skin issues that keeps flaring up, exhaustion that sleep does not fix, and a body that feels 20 years older than it should. You are not imagining it. You are experiencing the accumulated result of years of chronic inflammation that nobody warned you about. Okay, so here is where we make all of this actionable, because information without application is just interesting. I want this to change something for you. If you are in your 20s, this is your roadmap. This is what I wish someone had handed me. Number one, track your cycle. Your menstrual cycle is your monthly report card on your hormonal health. Learn what a healthy cycle looks like. Track your symptoms every month. Notice your patterns. If you are having painful periods, irregular cycles, extremely heavy bleeding, or mood changes that feel extreme, pursue answers. Do not let anyone tell you that this is just normal. It is common. It is not normal, and it is your body asking for help. Number 2, reduce chronic stress early. I know this sounds simple, my friends, but I need you to understand it biologically. Chronic stress is not just uncomfortable, it's hormonally destructive. It steals from your hormonal reserves. It damages your gut. It fuels inflammation. Start building stress management practices into your life right now, not when you burn out. Now, breath work, journaling, therapy, support system, rest, boundaries. Find your tools and use them before you desperately need them. Number 3, have an honest conversation about alcohol. I am not here to tell you what to do with your life, but I am here to tell you the truth. Alcohol disrupts your gut microbiome. It increases estrogen dominance. It damages your liver's ability to process and eliminate hormones. It disrupts your sleep architecture even when you think you are sleeping fine. It fuels inflammation. There is no amount of alcohol that supports your hormonal health. Be honest with yourself about what it is costing you. Number 4, eat for your gut. Diversity is the goal. Eat as wide a variety of whole plant foods as you possibly can. Different vegetables, different fruits, legumes, whole grains, nuts, seeds. Aim for 30 different plant foods per week if you can. That diversity feeds the diversity of bacteria in your gut. Limit sugar and ultra-processed foods as much as possible, and consider a quality probiotic, especially after antibiotics or during periods of high stress. Number 5, reduce your exposure to hormonal disruptors. These are chemicals called endocrine disruptors found in plastics, pesticides, nonstick cookware, synthetic fragrances, conventional personal care products, and household cleaners. They mimic or block your hormones, and they are everywhere. Start reading labels. Choose glass or stainless steel over plastic, especially for food and water storage. Look for fragrance-free and cleaner personal care products. Filter your drinking water. These are not small changes. Over years and decades, they add up to significant hormonal protection. Number 6, and this is our last one, get a full hormonal panel done. Not just a basic checkup. Ask your doctor specifically for estrogen, progesterone, testosterone, cortisol, insulin, thyroid. Full thyroid panel, not just TSH. And vitamin D. Know your baseline while you are young. It gives you something to compare to as you move through your 30s and 40s. And it arms you with information for you to advocate for yourself. And if you are already in your 40s, please hear this. It is not too late. Your gut can be restored. Your hormones can be supported. Inflammation can be significantly reduced. Your body is not done healing. It takes time, consistency, and the right support. But it absolutely happens. I've seen it and I've lived it. Okay, now with that was all pretty heavy, so let's slow it down here a little bit. I could talk about this topic forever because it is just so important, and so many women have never been given this information. But here is what I want you to walk away with today. What you are feeling is real. It is a biological explanation, and it started earlier than you were ever told. You are not broken. You are not weak. You are not overreacting. You are a woman whose body has been carrying more than it should have for longer than it should have, without the right tools, the right information, or the right support. And that, my friends, changes today. Tomorrow in episode 3, we are talking about bones, muscle, metabolism, and skin. And I promise you, some of what I'm going to share is going to completely change how you think about your body and what it needs, especially the information about when collagen actually starts declining and why your metabolism is not broken. It is just responding to what it has been through. You do not want to miss this one, my friends. Share this episode with every woman you love in her 20s or her 40s. This information belongs to all of us. Subscribe, hit the notification bell, and leave me a comment. Tell me which part of today's episode hit you the hardest. Was it the hormones, the gut, the inflammation piece? Let me know. I read every single comment, and I will see you in episode 3. Now, before you go, quickly, guys, if this resonated with you and you are tired of trying everything and still not feeling yourself, I want you to know there is a place for you. Come join me in our Patreon at Feel Better Daily. It is where I share daily habits for real energy, honest conversations about healing, natural tools, and I personally use, and simple ways to build a life that actually feels good. Not overwhelmed, not perfection, just real talk and what actually works. The link is in the description and in the first comment. And last, I just want to mention Agaro Cafe, which is a functional coffee I use in my healing, health, and wellness medicine cabinet. And doTERRA essential oils is my proactive approach to supporting my entire system. You have all of the links, all of the information in the description and in the first comment. On that note, peace, love, and light to everybody. Take care of yourself, your whole self, body, gut, hormones, and all. I will see you tomorrow.